Hello, I'm Leah, and I'm here to explain why and how children in SEA organization are being treated like young adults. Let's first talk about adolescent maturity. Adolescent maturity are influences, as you may know, by many factors such as biological changes, psychological development, and social influences. This includes hormones, brain growth, genetics, cultures, social roles, life changes, and parental expectations, of course. And maturity varies between individuals and cultures and can be shaped by personal experiences. Adulthood is a complex stage involving responsibilities, social expectations, and with the age of majority in US set at 18. The age differs in different cultures, the age of majority. So that's why maturity is personal. And also biological age, social age is how one fits into society, and psychological age, how old one feels, may not always align. So the transition to adulthood is affected by trends in marriage, education, cultural norms, as I said before, and socioeconomic status. So all these factors, they shape individual experiences and responsibilities, sometimes causing youth, especially from low-income families or different cultures, to take on adult responsibilities too soon, which can lead to emotional and physical challenges. Well, sure, people with different cultural backgrounds, social norms, parental expectations, responsibilities, and being forced into adult roles at different times, as well as family traditions, personal values, and religious indoctrinations, would have different sense of the age. Now, let's take Scientologists, for example. Well, people always ask me whether it's true that Scientologists treat children as adults. Well, Scientologists, they believe that children are essentially little men and women. But there is a difference between public Scientologists and those children who grow up in the organization. I will explain it. In his book, Child Dynetics, L. Ron Hubbard wrote that a child is a man or a woman who has not attained a full growth. Well, Sea members, they take this belief a step further. They believe that their children, were Sea members in past lives, and now they return to rejoin Sea. So it just makes sense to them that these children would choose them, Sea members, as their parents, especially during time when Sea members were allowed to have children. Now they don't. So after Cadet Org was disbanded, Sea member who, let's say, died in Sea, they have no choice but to reincarnate into the bodies of, let's say, Scientologists who were on staff at low organizations or public Scientologists, in order to come back and rejoin Sea later in life. I even personally heard some stories about Sea members who, let's say, died, dropped their body, and were born in non-Scientology family with the intention of recruiting their parents into Scientology. And of course, according to the storyteller, they successfully did it. While some may argue that we should respect their beliefs and leave them alone, it's crucial to understand that not all members of Sea Org believe in Scientology. I know, sounds odd, but I will repeat that. Not all Sea Org members are Scientologists. In fact, some of them never opened basic Scientology book. I mean, I've known people who just took Dianetics seminar that lasted 2 days and then joined Sea Org. And not because they just remembered that they were in Sea Org in past life. They just had their own reasons. So when I was in Sea Org last time in 2013, EPF AC, he made a rule that new recruits had to march to him, salute, and say, "Reporting back for duty, sir." So that means they were returning to continue their billion-year contract. I was so astonished to discover that some of the new recruits, they had no idea the true meaning behind the Sea Org motto, "We come back." I mean, some of them, they've heard of it, but they never truly grasped the significance. And later, I learned that some recruits had different reasons to join the original goal of Scientology. For example, I knew one woman from a foreign country who joined just because she hoped to get her green card. She came in her R1 visa, that's for religious workers, that Scientology helped her to get. I knew another girl who joined Sea Org just because her family, both parents were Sea Org members, and she did not really believe in Scientology because her parents never made sure that she understands the Scientology. They just really were too busy for her, but she joined just to be close to her family. And I knew another young man who just recently aged out of foster care, and he just really joined Sea Org because he had nowhere to go, nowhere else. So they all signed a billion-year contract and saluted, reported back for duty without actual understanding what it means. What surprised me that when APF IC asked how many new recruits never experienced Dianetics auditing and wanted to have like introductory session from a student just to see what it's all about, almost half of course room students raised their hands. I was like, what? That was so shocking, because Sea Org meant to include the most committed and dedicated Scientology members, and now they pretty much recruit anybody just off the street. So, on one side, we have parents who are dedicated to Scientology and believe that their work saving the planet should take priority over their children's needs. On another hand, we have teenagers, even children, whose needs are not being met and who may not believe that they're spiritual being that came back to the org, and who may not even be a part of the organization. So that's where I see the whole problem begins.